Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey everybody, welcome to our Civil Gore annual holiday gift guide. I'm your host Tim.
And this is Brian. And we decided to do a little bit different this year. Usually we tag this along with our regular episode, but just through the scheduling, we're making this its own mini-sode. But another thing we're doing a little different is, I know most of the gift guides, we usually go through like a lot of the big stores that you know and kind of go through those sites. Today, I'm doing a little different. We're going to try and focus a little bit more on like some of the smaller independent shops and actually some specific items that I kind of found online that seem really cool for a horror fan. So it's a little bit different, but I still think it'll come across the same way where you'll get some good ideas to shop this year. I know it's late and people are going to be by the time they get this probably frantically shopping already, especially with delays of stuff. But I mean, I've found so far that I haven't really had any delays on anything that I've ordered, although that I finally had to cancel my Amazon order of Kolchak the Night Stalker because it literally sat there saying order received for about a month and a half. And Best Buy had it in stock for actually, I think, the same price or a little cheaper. So I just finally canceled that and sent it. And Best Buy's already shipped it already. So
nice.
So I finally get my Kolchak the Night Stalker box set.
I've got that on my wish list for sure.
Well, there you go. There's our first, and that's a perfect segue because there's our first not on the rundown, but like the first gift idea if you have a fan, because that's a cool box set.
Yeah, if you just look at my wish list, you could probably create an entire gift guide for this.
Yeah, we might just share that in the end. We'll just share Tim's wish list.
Yeah, I've done pretty good this year. I think I've already got Olivia's stuff knocked out. Got a lot of the kids' stuff knocked out. Got my Secret Santa knocked out. So I'm really ahead of the game for December 2nd. I'm pretty proud of myself. Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're doing a lot like for some of the we're doing things for my parents that we don't always get them physical gifts. Sometimes we have experiences planned for them, so that's already like taken care of. Both sets of my parents, and then my brothers and I decided kind of the same thing. So my brothers and I decided instead of this year just getting each other gifts, what we're going to do is we're all going to be out there in LA, at my brother Adam's house. We decide we're going to just save the money and just we'll do some fun stuff like visit some cool breweries and do that. And just since we're spending the time, we're spending money to go out there, instead of just buying each other a gift, we just do something fun together that maybe we wouldn't necessarily have splurged on or something,
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Because sometimes you end up getting a gift that it's a great gift, but at the same time it's like, well, I could have bought that myself, all sorts of things. But I did one thing. I did make one major splurge on my niece and nephew. And I had to, because especially my niece is really into Paw Patrol, as most, I think that's the rule these days. If you're a kid, you have to be into it. My nephew, he's a little younger, so he kind of probably likes it, but he's not, I don't know if he's the biggest fan. But anyway, I ordered them that arcade 1-Up Paw Patrol game, the mini kids version.
Oh, that's awesome. So
yeah, my brother, it's much to my brother and sister-in-law's chagrin that this giant, but it already comes assembled. But yeah, so it's like, they just have their new house, so I assume they have some space, and I gotta spoil my niece and nephew as the uncle. That's your job,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So hopefully they'll love that. So I think that's already been ordered and it's on its way to them. So I think they'll get a big kick out of that. They'll be. I mean, think about it. When I was their age, if I would have gotten a little arcade game, I would have been in heaven. Back then when I was growing up, like at their age, I don't think there were arcade games even. Well, they existed, but there was like 2.
Yeah,
right?
You did have them in your house for sure.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was like so. So hopefully that'll be a good thing. And I'll probably get him a little something to to open as well. That's a little package. But then pretty much Julie and I, we haven't decided. I think we're gonna kind of do the same route as possibly just we each have something that we might want to get for each other, but we also might do the route of just doing some kind of a trip. Or see like a Broadway show and have like a big night out like we did that last time a couple of years ago. We did that with Hamilton.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it could be something like that. It's like, with all the stuff that we've had to worry about the last 2 years, it's like, when gift ideas just are so easy to think of this way, it's probably just better to do that. However, though, I will also spoil little Obi, of course, because he's got to get spoiled with lots of dog toys, as if he needs another 100 dog toys. But I'm still gonna spoil him anyway.
Of course.
But anyway, let's move on to for now that you all know what we're getting, people. You want to know? I'm sure you want to have a gift idea for each other. So I guess Tim will do what we usually do. We'll just alternate.
Sure. Yeah.
Different things. So I'll start it off with I'm going to start off with our good friends over there at Ghost Girl Greetings. That's Tony and Lori. We met them at the HorrorCon a couple of years ago, and we've had them on their show twice technically, but due to technical difficulties, only one made it to the air. But yeah, they have a lot of great horror and pop culture items. They have like really cool prints, and they all do the artwork themselves, which is what's great. They have they have different prints, cards, wrapping paper, mugs. I mean, even lip balm. I mean, I have my Silver Shamrock mug that I bought from them. And the coolest thing is they literally just got the official Silent Night, Deadly Night license. So they actually have just made a couple of stuff with that IP, which I think is really cool that they actually got. Now, I think it's their second or third like actual IP that they were able to get.
Which that's impressive. That's really impressive.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah, no, and they are two of the nicest people you'll ever meet. So it's like really great. You can find that stuff at it's www.ghostgirlgreetings.com, and you can find them also on social media. We'll put all this stuff in the show notes. And if you follow them on social media, you get to see all their really cool items. And we might just be working on a little something with them.
Yeah.
that I kind of sprung on Tim. I don't think he's been busy the last couple of days, so I don't think he saw what I volunteered us for. But it'll be fun. It's really neat little things. So it'll be fun.
Next up, we have another great friend of the show, Victoria from Embroidery, which is the embroidery store. This is a fantastic item shop. Victoria makes every product by hand. She's based out of the southeast coast of England, and she creates embroidered horror items, and these are amazing. You have to go out to her website to see this stuff, because the amount of work involved in these just blows my mind. And I know we've had her on the show. She was super cool, and her stuff is just incredible. So she can be found at www.embroidery.com, which you'll see the link in the show notes if you don't know how to spell it. And I'd highly recommend checking out her stuff, because that is truly one of a kind type gifts.
Yeah, you want to get something really cool, like almost that you'd usually find on like Etsy, but this is like she's like an entire Etsy shop of stuff that she hand makes. Like she even had that, like the cool, I noticed today, I was looking through some of her stuff. She has these cool Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, like pom-pom keychains. Mm-hmm. So it's got like the color scheme and kind of design and it's really unique stuff she does. And it's all handmade. So it's like, that like there's so much attention and detail put into each item. So that one's a good one. Next one is a new one. We haven't mentioned them before, but we follow them on social media. We interact with them a lot. It's really cool. It's called Wicked Cat Clothing. So their basic slogan is your store for Halloween, paranormal, and more 365 days a year. And actually, our good friend Emily Sweet, she actually did modeling for them for their Bloody Mary line that they have, where it says Bloody Mary like 3 times on their items.
Yeah,
and
cool.
She did the hoodies, and she put on a full thing of makeup for that day. It was pretty cool. So they have some really cool stuff. I mean, they have hoodies, mugs, socks. I think there's even there's like bathing suits and stuff. They just have a lot of more unique items that you might not find. Like like how often do you find like a horror company that'll do like bikinis and bathing suits and stuff,
Right,
it's like, it's really cool. And so definitely check them out. They have a great social media presence too. They're really cool. We interact with them sometimes, and they also do some movie reviews. So they're really into horror, so they know their stuff. Like they know what their audience is gonna want. So definitely check them out. They're at www.wickedcatclothing.com.
All right, so next up, let's look at a couple of books. This next one here definitely is on my wish list, Brian. And,
mine too.
I kind of wanted to get the signed copy. The Barnes & Noble had the signed copy of this. This is called Yours Cruelly, Elvira, My Wild Life as the Mistress of the Dark, and I've heard great reviews on this this book. I'll read the description here. The woman behind the icon known as Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, the undisputed queen of Halloween, reveals her full story filled with intimate bombshells told by the bombshell herself. And this one just sounds like a great biography.
Yeah.
I enjoy biographies. I read them quite a bit, and of course, this one definitely perked my interest because of the. I am such a huge Elvira fan.
Yeah, same here. And the fact that she came back like to do a special on Shudder.
Yeah, she's having like kind of a resurgence. I don't know if she's ever really truly went away, but it just feels like she's making this big comeback.
Well, yeah, and like her movies have been released and with like great special editions. And the fact that she hit Shudder just like Joe Bob. I hope that, and her book. I can't believe this book just came out now, like this year. With such history and how popular she's always been, and like I really don't think she ever ages. She's pretty. She may really be some Mistress of the Dark to stay, but she's someone that's like always on my bucket list to actually meet in person. I know. Remember we talked to our friend Cassie Foltz. Remember she said that she was actually named after Elvira. Of course, Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah.
So she was all excited when she got to meet her. She told her that great story. So that's someone that I'm hoping like comes to one of the horror cons again. I know she hits the circuits a lot, so it's just a matter of I just haven't had the time. I want to say she was at one of the conventions I was at, but either she wasn't there the day I was there, or it was one of those things where she was in like one of those big like sections, and she had one of those massive lines that they just couldn't. That
would be a bucket list con visit for me for sure. She also has a very successful comic line,
right?
Elvira comics that are really good. I've read a few of those. I own a few of them. I didn't keep up with the whole series because they were just coming out so fast and furious, but those are really, really good.
Yeah, also another dream guest, by the way, to ever have on the show. Definitely.
For sure.
That would be. And you're speaking of that. We always list our dream guests. Like that's who I think needs to write a book like that is also one of our other dream guests is Barbara Crampton. I would love to hear a book on her because she's such a icon in the horror industry as well. So
and another one that never ages either.
Yeah, never ages. I don't understand.
They must be drinking blood younger. Or something. Yeah.
She got younger. Speaking of another biography, this is another one I definitely need to get. I think both these books, if I don't get them, they are, and I know I get some Amazon gift cards, either two of the first things I'm ordering, and that is Confessions of a Puppet Master, a Hollywood memoir of ghouls, guts, and gonzo filmmaking. And it's renowned producer, director, and B-movie showman Charles Band, of course, from the Full Moon and the Puppet Master series, takes readers on a wild romp through Hollywood's decidedly un-Oscar-worthy underbelly where mayhem and zombies reign supreme and cheap thrills and entertainment are king. And if you love Full Moon like Tim and I do, I'm sure this book is going to just be tons of fun to read because I love when a company like that, it's kind of like like someone like Troma, where they know what they know what they're producing and they are all in for it. They don't try and make Citizen Kane. It's
exactly.
They just make fun movies that people can enjoy, and so I'm all over these two books.
This next one I'm really pretty excited about because I think this is such a cool idea.
And it's unique, right?
Yeah, and I've actually had this done for me as a Christmas gift, which was really, really cool. This is Sketch Mob, and this is just a website that kind of facilitates the ease of getting a custom art commission. And there's the horror angle here is that there are artists on here that will do like horror style, zombie style portraits of you, but this is just a cool thing because there's some really talented artists out there that are selling their work for very reasonable prices too.
Right, yeah.
And if you ever wanted to get like a custom portrait made of you as a fantasy figure or something like that, this is a great way to do it for a fairly inexpensive price. And I've got a coworker actually who did this. I don't know if it was actually Sketch Mob, but he did commission a fantasy portrait of one of the D&D characters he was playing. He played like this rogue, this halfling ranger, and he really had gone through this whole D&D campaign and really had grown attached to this character. And there was a scene or an event that happened where he had this magic ring and he had fallen in love with this other halfling or whatever, and they were basically levitating with this magic ring. And so it was just part of the campaign story. So he commissioned a piece of artwork of his character and this other halfling that he was in love with levitating above the floor of like this ballroom. It was super, super cool. It was a really neat piece of art. It was custom. I mean, it was one of a kind. I think that's just a neat concept and something people aren't going to do that for themselves, right? So it's one of those things that I just think makes a great gift just because it's so unique.
Right. Yeah. Well, actually, I think we should get one of like Cone like dressed as Jason Voorhees, from all the Friday the 13th games.
Yeah. There you go.
But also, I was gonna get you one, but where it was gonna be the creature, the Black Lagoon, coming out and like carrying you instead. But
that'd be great.
Couldn't find someone that would do that yet. They thought I was a little twisted, but no, that would be a good one. But yeah, but somehow you have a horror fan in your life that's particularly fond of a character or genre. I mean, what a cool idea that they would never, like Tim said, never get for themselves or expect what it would be. Like, that's one of those things where you could buy it and they would never guess what's inside.
Yeah, that's such a great idea. I love that one.
Yeah. One of the next ones is, this one's a kind of a basic one, but since Tim and I always said that we love this thing, there's two versions. There's I think Pinhead, Blade and another character, right? It was Blade and
I can't remember the two that were, or the one. I can't remember the one package with Blade, but they're in 2 packs. Is the point we're making?
Yeah, but anyway, the Puppet Master 2 packs. There's 2 of them right now. That one, the Blade, and the other one, and the Ultimate Pinhead and Tunneler. It's a 7-inch scale action figure 2 pack. Of course, they stand about 4 1/4 inch tall, so they're not perfectly to scale, I guess, but it's still really cool. I definitely want to buy both those sets because I definitely want a nice little Puppet Master collection because I know what's going to happen. They're eventually going to make all the others, and then these will go out of print or something.
Yeah.
And then I'll be kicking myself. So these are the two Puppet Master sets that I think I'm going to go, since actually Tim and I totally just got buried in the series over the summer in the best possible way.
Blade and Torch is the other
Torch, yes, thank you. Yeah, Blade and Torch. And so I definitely would want a complete set, and I hope they just continue to make all these. I want the whole shebang.
Yeah, this is definitely high on my wish list. I used to have the old Puppet Master action figures and sadly threw them away. I threw them away. When I got married, it was one of those. I was one of those moments where you go, I'm married now. I don't need all this childish stuff, and then you realize you're still going to be into that after you're married.
Yes,
you
wish now you had Tim wants to go back in time.
Yes,
he will keep those. But
okay, so this next one, Brian, I'm going to let you talk about the first one because you're more familiar with that one.
Yeah, I don't know what the other two. Well, Final Girl, I saw what Cone was talking about, but basically the next 3 are going to be board games. I'll do this one. Tim will do the next 2, but of course there's the new edition of Horrified, which we mentioned briefly on the show before it. But this time, instead of the classic Universals, it's called Horrified American Monsters game. And so, same premise. Tim had played it. I haven't played mine yet, but same kind of thing. But this time you're kind of saving the town from like the classic cryptids you've known and loved, like Bigfoot, Mothman, the Chupacabra, the Jersey Devil, which is not Steve Cohn. I know people think it is, but it's not. No, okay. The Ozark Howler, which sounds really cool, and the Banshee of the Badlands. Those last 2, I'm like, I don't think I've heard of them, but I love everything about them already. Same way, same mechanics, like Tim said. You said it's a little different, right? On how to.
Well, yeah, like the base mechanics. If you're familiar with Horrified, the original Horrified, you could definitely pick this up and just start playing. The difference is in the monsters. The map is different. The map is kind of a little more complex. It has a few more locations. And the monsters, though, are the real change because the monsters give completely new mechanics on how to defeat them. So if you own the first Horrified and go, oh, well, I don't need the second one, I would disagree because it's almost like an expansion pack giving you just more monsters to fight. So I would highly recommend it even if you have the original Horrified. Definitely some neat mechanics. And I got my butt whipped. Horrified, I consider myself an expert. I could beat 3 monsters easy. American Monsters, I got whipped with just 2 monsters. So
wow,
it definitely ramps up the difficulty just a hair.
Was it because of Pip? Was Pip not doing good?
So I don't know, but I would highly recommend either version, especially if you haven't got the original Horrified.
Oh my god, yeah! If you don't have that, every person I've got to play that has loved it. Like I told you, I had my nephews play it in June, and they loved it. I told them about the new one. They got all excited, so they want to try the new one.
I basically even sold it to the guy that came over to install my TV. He was
It's like,
he
what's
saw
that?
yeah he saw my board game collection. And he was like, oh my god, I'm just getting into board games. Do you have any you'd recommend? And I was like, yep, Horrified. Go to Target, get it right now.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah,
liked
because
co-op.
it's so
yeah.
it's like it's complex enough, but also easy enough for a new gamer to play, but still get this kind of you totally get into the fun of what board gaming is all about with it. Which is really
it's a
cool.
total gateway game.
Yeah.
One of the best gateway games I've ever seen to get you into like the more complex board gaming.
You know what would be amazing? And I don't think they could ever do it because of just the licensing agreements. But imagine like a slasher version where it's like Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy,
Oh, yeah,
Chucky,
so cool.
Pinhead. Imagine those are the ones you have to kill. How cool that would be!
That would
like
be
Freddy,
awesome.
you'd have to like pick up like all his bones and different things from the junkyard and make sure they're buried and move them around and like
Oh yeah, those so
I
cool.
guess Jason would be. You'd have to. I don't know what.
You have to
how
get the
he-
sweater and
Yeah, you'd have to find the sweater, I guess, and do stuff like that. I think that would be amazing, but I don't think. Unfortunately, I think they're all owned by different production companies
yeah.
now.
Now there are people that are making fan versions of different monsters. Like I've seen Phantom of the Opera was done.
Oh, right, we played that.
Yeah, remember we played that
online.
one. I think the Fly. So
Oh.
people have been doing like their custom ones that are pretty neat. So
Awesome.
the next two are board games that you cannot find in Target. These would be more you'd have to visit like a game store or maybe order them on Amazon or
Tim's house.
or my house. Yeah, because I've got both of these. Well, I got Final Girl on the way, Brian. You didn't know that. I just ordered that tonight. But yeah, the first one up is Zombicide. This is a classic zombie game that has been around for several years. I think probably 5 or 6 years. And they just came out with a second edition of this. And Zombicide is very fast paced. It's very rules are very simple, but typically it's a scenario based game where you're playing co-op, just like Horrified. So you're playing together, working to fight the zombies and win the objectives. But the fun about Zombicide is it's kind of almost cartoonish in the amount of violence and stuff. It's not gory in terms of like you could play it with your kids. I play it with my son all the time. It's not gory or graphic in any way, but it's just kind of over the top style. So basically, like for instance, I'll give you the example of the first mission we had to do. We had to basically there's a big city block and you got these tiles that create the map, and we had to go through and find all these objectives inside the buildings and then get out and basically survive. If one person dies, the game's over. Everybody loses.
Oh my god, it sounds like that. What was the zombie game we were playing? Back for Blood.
Yeah. So Joshua has really gotten hooked on this, and he is not one to play board games. He likes his Xbox. He doesn't get into board games. I brought this out, and he was instantly hooked. We played for 2.5 hours, and the next night he wanted to play the next mission. The core box of Zombicide second edition, which is the one I'd recommend getting because it streamlines a lot of the rules, has 25 missions in it. So that's a lot of replay value. It's got a ton of minis. At some points, you'll have 30 zombies on the board that you're trying to fight. It's a lot of fun. I didn't know if I was going to like it because it's a little bit more simple rule set than I'm used to, but I've had a blast with it. The next one up is the Final Girl board game. Now, this one's unusual in that it's a solo-only game. It can only be played solo, but if you are a solo gamer like I am, a lot of the times, then you will love this one because it is themed to the Final Girl. In each module, I have not played this one yet. I've got it on order, and I'm under strict orders. I have to put it under the tree, wrapped. I cannot play it when it comes in. But so this is kind of a Christmas present to myself. But Final Girl, you are basically you're playing the role of the Final Girl, trying to rescue survivors and run from a killer who is chasing you. And there's some solo mechanics on how you do this. And what's neat about this game is that there's a core box, and then each killer is its own module, and the modules run about $20. And
yeah, I see there's a set for $175. You can get all of them.
Yeah, so
but
you
that's
can
sold out now.
Yeah,
but
you can either.
That means that will come back, or it's just sold out for good now.
Well, it just hit retail, and when I say retail, I'm talking like the game stores. I use miniaturemarket.com. They're a great online game store. They have really good prices, and I've never had a bad experience. Game Nerds is another good one, NERDZ. So they're starting to hit the web retailers now, but what's neat about it is you can buy the core set and then you can buy each module separately. So if you don't want to buy that full like $175 set, you could do like what I did. I bought the core set and 2 modules. So each module gives you a new map and a new killer and a new final girl.
Well, you're right. The miniature market has good prices for that. $15.99 for the modules.
Yeah. So each set also gives you a new final girl. So as you get more sets, you can mix and match these things. So you can play this final girl on that map with that killer, and it gets really the more expansions you have, the more exponentially the game expands. So it sounds really good. It's based off a game that I do own called Hostage Negotiator, which is a solo only game in which you are trying to basically rescue hostages from a kidnapper. And the theme has been re-implemented here. Everything I've read is that this takes the hostage negotiator mechanics and really improves them. And especially with the horror theme laid on top of it, I think this is a clear winner. I have not heard a bad thing about it so far. All my friends love it, so I would definitely recommend Final Girl board game for the horror lover in your life. I'll give you guys a review once I get to play it after Christmas, but it'll probably be early next year before I can give you my impressions.
Yeah, I see where all or any of my horror money is, my holiday money might go if I get any gifts in terms of, because I could see myself just buying this whole set and the Zombicide and
oh my gosh,
and whatnot.
It's so much
and I want to
fun.
buy Dark Tower still.
Oh yeah,
which actually I've seen it. It's not bad. It's $175 for that game, but with including that giant thing. By the way, I know you watched that YouTube video, so I watched it too. I mean, probably because I'm not as much of a gamer as you in terms of that, but I was so lost at his description of this game. I don't know what the heck he was saying. I don't know if I mean, I just may be that I'm not familiar with that kind of gaming mechanics.
Yeah,
but it just seemed like he was putting pieces like, well, if you put this piece here and you get 5 tokens here, but you can give a token and then everybody gets a token. I'm like, I think it's one of those things that I think once you sat down and played it, it would click. Yeah, a lot of these games it just takes a little bit of experience. Well, that's why it's like, what's even more amazing is those people, people that do the playthroughs, like the how to play. Like that's why like Becca Scott should get like some kind of humanitarian award. The way she does it in like 10 minutes and gets you the entire game, and she does it without a blip or and with such like excitement. And then of course we've had her on the show, and she's just like as sweet and nice as can be, and so something like that's like. I tell you, I don't know how they keep all that fresh in my head. I mean, I took me like 60 games on like my iPad to figure out Waterdeep, or first of all to say the name right. Remember, it took me forever to do that. But then I kept playing it on the iPad to like kind of learn what was going on with Waterdeep. But anyway, next one we have up is a little bit different. But this company we've mentioned before, that's Creepy Company or Creepy Co. is with their thing there. It's but their creepycompany.com is their website. And Tim, this is where you got those cool pajamas you ordered that time.
Oh yes, I love Creepy Company. Yeah. So I know Tim's familiar with this, but they've kind of done something cool this year. I'll read you this description. It's a bit on the long side, but it's still good. So they basically sell their own this gift set of horror Christmas coffee. So it's kind of cool. So here's what it is. It says, we fired up our cauldrons to brew something spooky. Creepy Company Coffee. We've partnered with our friends at Cribby Coffee, and Cribby Coffee is a Chicago-based roaster, and they're basically a direct importer of green, single-source coffee from all over the world. They have a patented air roasting process that creates well-balanced, flavorful roast with no torching or bitterness, which a lot of people, that's one of the gripes for people like, oh, I got to drink it black. The coffee, it's too bitter, but supposedly this one does whatever they do knocks out that bitterness in the coffee. For me, I used to be I'll put like pumpkin creamer in it, but that's more for just because I want the pumpkin, not I want to take away from the coffee. I mean, I'll drink it as dark and black as you give it to me. I love that. So this one sounds really cool. So it says anyway. So they paired with this Cribby Coffee Company to concoct 3 delightfully creepy roasts for the holiday season. It says their sustainable beans have been sourced from around the globe, as they mentioned before, and roasted to frightening perfection. It says the result is a devilishly delicious Java, sure to make your next brew an otherworldly experience. They fired up the cauldrons to... Oh, wait, they said that part. They repeated it twice. Sorry. Anyway, there's only 500 made. So you can only get... There's only 500 gift sets of these. So
This is one of those things. If you really want your coffee, you want to try this, I would order sooner than later. So it's each an exclusive limited edition box set. And here's what it includes. It includes Slay Me Dark roast, of course. Slay spelled the proper Slay way, not like Christmas Slay, like an Ernest Saves Christmas. And that's a single source out of Mexico, and it's a cherry cream cola and brownie. That's the flavor of this coffee. Then there's Krampus Medium Roast, which is a single source from Cameroon, and the notes there are pear, caramel, and lemon. Pear, caramel, and lemon. And the final one is Corpse Reviver Light Roast, and it's a single source out of Brazil. So, and it says the notes are tobacco, walnut, and dark chocolate. There's one, Phil's Coffee makes one that's kind of like that. I love. So, I don't know. I'm tempted with this one.
That sounds like a John Lithgow roast.
It does, doesn't it? It sounds like the Lithgow blend. It's what you'd find in his beard if you dug deep enough. But yeah, no. So this and these bags are all whole bean coffee, so you got to grind them. So they're gonna come you want to make sure you have a good grinder, which, if you have a cheap grinder, you kind of could kill your coffee. We have a decent one, but from what Julie tells me, it's like you really want the good grinders. You're upwards of $300 to get the ones if you want to grind perfectly. But look, we're not baristas, so as long as I grind it to an acceptable level is where I'm at right now in my coffee journey. But so it's $60, so it's not cheap. For three, that's $20 $20 a pound. I paid that for coffee before, but it's an exclusive thing, and this would be something that may not be roasted again. So you could be getting a one of a kind thing. So if you have a coffee lover and a horror fan, this may be a cool gift that they may not even know exists, let alone buy for themselves.
I always think about this. People say $60. That's crazy for 3 bags of coffee.
Yeah.
If you're going to the store to get your coffee for the week, that's crazy.
Right.
But if you're doing it for a gift, for somebody that's not going to go out and buy this for themselves, I think that's perfectly acceptable. I think it's a neat gift. I think it's something they'd really appreciate. So
yeah,
I don't see a problem when it's something like that.
No, definitely not. If you look at the artwork on the bag, it's really well done. It's like they've obviously handcrafted this specific blend. So it's like you're not going to find this even from Cribby Coffee. You're not getting this roast. This is made, it seems like it's exclusive for the Creepy Company, which is kind of cool. Glad to see that they're getting something like this, and it's, it's a little bit above where, and I know there's a ton of horror themed coffee out there. We've had Death Wish, Bones Coffee.
What
was the one at HorrorCon we bought? What was that one?
I can't remember that one. That was good though.
It's so funny. We bought that one. It was oh my god! I'm sure they're kicking especially the Ghost Girls, because I know they drink this one too. Oh, by the way, funny enough, really little quick side tangent here. So remember that I bought that I was at I think it was Marshall's or TJ Maxx, one of those things, that I bought a couple of pumpkin coffees.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that just said kind of pumpkin pie on it, and I saw I think it was Tony actually from Ghost Girl Greetings had it too, and she had it there, and I bought that one, and I noticed it was on Larry David's table in one of the Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes this year. He had the little bag of it sitting there, and I caught it. I'm like, oh my god, that's that cheap coffee I bought. But so I wonder if they must. I guess we now know that's for Curb Your Enthusiasm, they might shop at those stores to get little props.
That's cool.
But yeah, so either way though, this is a good idea for one of your coffee loving horror fans for sure. And we know there's a good crossover for that. I think it's because you're up late at night watching horror movies, so you need the coffee.
Yeah, Deadly Grounds was the one we had.
Deadly Ground, yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Also, I would like to give a shout out to Bones Coffee. If you haven't had their coffee's good, but I love their mugs. They sell these really nice hand-fired pottery type coffee mugs, and they're expensive. They're about $35, but you can get, they have sales and stuff they run, and you can get discount codes. But I've got 2 of their coffee mugs, and these things are amazing. I've dropped the thing from a 3-foot distance and not had it shatter. It just washes up well. I know it sounds like $35 is crazy for a coffee mug, but these things are worth every penny. I've actually gotten them for other people for gifts because I was so impressed with them. So yeah, Bones Coffee. If you their coffee's great. I've had their coffee, but their their mugs are out of this world.
I know. I still need to get in. It's just if I bring one more mug into this house,
You'll be divorced. Yeah,
it's bad enough. I I already got the game collection that's getting too big. And then my we already know what the monolith has done. Like I think if I start getting more mugs in here, I mean, like I think I have my 2 mugs that I alternate between my Ghost Girl Greetings Silver Shamrock and my Civil Gore mug. Those are the 2 I alternate between, and that's about all I have room for with it. With our standard, of course, China mugs that we got with the wedding. But yeah, so I need to get a Bones Coffee mug though somehow. I need to sneak that in. Maybe I'll say it's going to work, and
yeah, there you go.
I can bring it there.
Next up, this one is one that comes across my Facebook feed. I think Facebook is wanting me to buy this because it knows I love it. This is the Friday the 13th Horror Movie Collector Water Lamp, Part 6, Jason Lives Final Display.
Yeah.
Water Lamp. This thing is so crazy.
Yeah.
It looks like it's basically, well, exactly what it says. It's a water lamp of Jason in it's sort of like a Jason in a jar, but it's actually water with a light up thing. You can get this at, I'm gonna send you the link. The link's too long. It's called Pool Theme Day is the website, poolthemeday.com. But this thing is so super cool. They have different ones. They have a Freddy Krueger, and now the Freddy Krueger, the Michael Myers. These are like almost like a diorama. It's like a glass dome with the figure inside of it, and those are also really super cool. But I think the Jason one underwater is by far the coolest.
Well, that one's so made for that, it's like so perfect.
So that one's, just check out the link in the show notes, because that one you just have to kind of see to appreciate. It's really, really cool.
Yeah. There's another one too, this next one where it's like, you see a million of these type of things, but this one just struck my eye because it was really cool because it's a personalized, they're calling it a personalized name horror movie watching blanket. So it's this fleece blanket, but you can put your name on it. And this is one of these ones where it's like the link is really long, so I'm not going to give it to you. We'll put it in the show notes, but I guess it's from this one is from Memoria Case is the company that does it. So it's really cool because it says it's a giant blanket. Like there's a picture of it like on what looks to be like a full-size bed, I think, and it kind of covers the whole thing. So, and this blanket's got really just got a ton of stuff on it. So it says, like in this one, it says really cool, like hard dripping blood font, and in this case, just as your names in the picture, but it would be like Tim. You would put on there, of course, Tim's horror movie watching blanket, and it's got like in the lettering, it's got like all different horror characters. I see like Art the Clown in there. Even it's got Freddy, Jason, all the classics, Michael Myers. And then there's also down below, there's like all the icons kind of standing there. So there's a Jason, there's a little burp map hanging out in there. There's Jigsaw, like that little puppet one. There's Freddy, Ghostface, all the characters you know and love. So looks like a nice big warm fleece blanket. So I mean, what better thing do you want? Like you curl up on the couch and go watch a binge watch some horror, and then you have a nice blanket to do it in.
Nice. Well, the next thing, we're just going to give you some just general suggestions. These are not anything specific or any specific website, but of course, Etsy is like a treasure trove of horror stuff. You could always find stuff on Etsy for horror fans. I love Etsy because you can get some really one-of-a-kind, unique things on there. I remember I got you that VHS light-up display thing, Brian.
Which I am staring at right now because it's right on my like my podcast studio shelf right there. Yes, next to my Alfred Hitchcock, like a little pop vinyl. It's all next to my little horror stuff there.
Yeah, that was a Etsy gift, and that was a great one. And,
I love that. Yeah, because I've seen like similar ones, but I never seen the Twin Peaks one, and I was like, I saw like the very generic-y, like. Not that it's a generic thing, but like the like Friday the 13th, like that basic stuff. But like Twin Peaks definitely was more of a niche that I'm glad you were able to find, and I do have that proudly displayed. One of the other ones too is, of course, I mean, this is kind of like a no-brainer these days, but you may think like, well, everyone has it, but now there's so many streaming services. So like, especially like I got the email reminder that in a couple of weeks my Full Moon subscription is going to renew, which I am going to let it renew for the $60 because I actually got a lot of enjoyment out of the Full Moon.
Way more enjoyment than I thought I would ever get on that streaming service.
Yeah, no, I thought I was like, all right, I'm buying this and I'm gonna end up with the box set and then move on. But no, they keep adding cool stuff to it, and there's a ton of great stuff. And and you know what it is? I just want to support that company in every way I possibly can. They always are sending you good deals. They always have they have a huge library on there. So, and it's like just a good quality service. So something like that, maybe someone doesn't have, and think about it. You could literally be buying them like twice the amount of stuff. You buy them spend $60, buy them a Full Moon thing from scratch, brand new. And they're also getting like that Puppet Master box set because they have that every year. I mean, can you imagine getting that for somebody?
Yeah, that's
it's like
crazy.
2 gifts in one. Or like their Screenbox, which I kind of want to, I may do a trial on that one because I heard that's really good. Or, there's Arrow. I mean, of course, Shudder. That's the obvious one. But, you never know, or even if like someone wants, into horror, but true crime specifically, there's Discovery Plus has a lot of great shows on there.
Oh, Discovery's excellent. I love Discovery Plus.
Yeah, I know you love that one. Julie's actually did a trial for a few months on that one too. She liked it so much. So yeah, so that's always a good idea to get, especially because sometimes you can get like a year subscription at a good price, instead of just buying them like, giving them a gift card or something. Sometimes you might be able to just buy the year out for them and check it out.
Next up is horror cookbooks, which you might think, there's no horror cookbooks. Oh my God!
That's
many.
Why I changed it to that. I was really going to list one, and then it said you might also like this, and there was like 30 more.
Yeah, there's crazy with it. You go out on there's tons of lists. Cannibal Kitchen, a horror lover's cookbook. You've got Christine McConnell, which had a great show on Netflix.
I know, and I remember I had that book on my list, and she sold out. I never got it.
There's one of my favorite named ones is the H.P. Lovecraft cookbook, the Necra Nom Nom Nom.
Yeah, I saw that one,
which is fantastic. There is a fantastic cookbook, The Nightmare Before Dinner, which is the official cookbook from that Tim Burton themed restaurant.
I actually own that one. I own that book.
Oh yeah,
and didn't I get? Cool. I got Anna one for Christmas for you. I sent. It was like what was the Harry Potter one? I think.
Yeah, the Harry Potter one.
So they have themed ones too, just not horror, but like those are really fun because you're getting pretty much standard recipes, kind of hard up or pottered up in her case, so it's pretty cool.
But it's still cool for people that like to cook. There's True Blood, there's Walking Dead cookbooks. I mean, there's just everything. So go out there, do a quick Google search. I just did a quick Google, and there was like article after article listing horror themed cookbooks. I think that's a great idea. And
I guarantee you that falls under the probably not going to buy for myself category.
Exactly,
most of it, and that's like a perfect, or if you're in like some kind of gift exchange, you're doing a Secret Santa, and people say, "Oh, one of my interests are horror or cooking." You're like, "Got your gift.
Done.
Here it is." Another one, of course, is horror subscriptions, where like one of those horror boxes, but not just that, but also like maybe a Hunt a Killer game, which Julie and I did. We still never finished though. The Blair Witch version, or just a regular type of Hunt a Killer. They have tons of different modules where you get it. You kind of get a box, but I think you can buy a subscription for someone as a gift. You can pay the whole year out, and they get the whole thing, and they just get it sent every month, which is kind of a cool thing. Or like we said, like the horror box. Like Tim, you got some great little like artifacts right through one of those.
Yeah, I did the Loot Crate horror box for a while there, and that was a lot of fun. And then there's also don't forget magazine subscriptions. So you've got Rue Morgue, you've got Fangoria, of course. Those magazine subscriptions can get pretty pricey, so a gift of those is a great.
Well, Fangoria definitely, but Fangoria is worth the price, I think.
Yeah,
I mean it's up there to $75 a year, and you get really 4 issues a year, but they're 4 packed issues with
they're like 100+
content.
pages. Yeah. And they do run specials. I know they had some Black Friday specials going on. Yeah. So you can find some deals here and there throughout the year, or at least ones where you get like extra back issues with your order and that kind of thing. So
yeah. Or sometimes you get free shirts. You'll get free merch with it, or a poster. And also a lot of times Fangoria will give you exclusive covers, and you'll kind of get that through the subscription. You get the special cover, or sometimes they send you like it's like a covers on one side and you flip it and the other covers on the back. So I think you get some kind of, there's definitely a subscriber perks. Even though you can find the magazine in the store, something about, I get very excited when I see that envelope come in my mail. That I know Fangoria is inside. So.
And then finally, we would be remiss not to mention this one, of course, and that is our Civil Gore store. So we do have merch. And we
need more, though. We need to put different designs. Right now, it's only logo.
Yeah, it's just logo right now. We probably need to get some new designs in there. But I will tell you, we do our stuff through Threadless. They've been fantastic. I have not ordered anything through there that I've been disappointed with.
Oh my God.
Stuff has been like exceeded my expectations. My daughter still wears her Civil Gore hoodie that she's like basically almost worn the logo off. She's worn it so much.
Yeah, I know. I had to buy new ones. My original one is like literally I've worn it so much. It was like my go-to hoodie in the pandemic, to the point of where like it's now like it's definitely still there. You still see the logo really clear in its face, but like the like the strings on the sweatshirt like have trouble staying in a little bit, but.
Yeah, that's not a reflection on the quality, because the quality is great. It's a reflection on how much she loved that hoodie.
Yeah. Well, and Julie has not stopped wearing her. She wears the dolman tee, because we had a lot of women options for when we were going to Horror Nights, and Julie wears that Civil Gore shirt all the time now. It's like one of her go-to comfy shirts. So
yeah, we have
definitely
some really cool
lots of stuff on there. We added a couple of different products like that. That sun, remember that shirt I was wearing, the sunscreen shirt?
Yeah.
Like that's stuff great. Like that. It's really cool. And the mugs, and of course, you could be like Cody and have the Civil Gore shower curtain.
Yeah, which Olivia still won't let me buy, but
one day. I'm not allowed to buy it either. We just have to live vicariously, or shower vicariously, I guess, through Cody.
Yeah, I guess so.
With her shower curtain. So.
All right, guys. So I hope that gave you guys some good ideas for the horror fan in your life for this Christmas or Hanukkah season. And if you have some ideas that we didn't list on here, let us know. It's not too late. You just drop us a line at gmail.com or on Twitter, and we'll kind of spread the word and give you some credit for coming up with an idea. I'm always looking for new gift ideas.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also, if you are like one of the independent shops that really want to let us know if like we didn't, it may just be like we might have seen you, and it's just we've seen so many sometimes that we might miss it in terms of this. So just let us know, like send us a message and we'll share it. We always will love to share anybody's creativity, whatever it is, whether it's a store, whether it's another podcast, whatever we like to do, we're always willing to share and help promote you, because we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to just do what we love, and so it's especially the people that use that as a source of income. Tim and I, as we joke all the time, we just hemorrhage money with the podcast. But for those people out there that are really doing their just amazing stuff and really want to get out there, just let us know. Drop us an email and say, hey, do you mind mentioning this? We will be happy to mention it.
Yeah, or even if you want to come on the show and do an interview, we're always open to that as well.
Yep.
All right, guys, so we'll get out of here. We got to record our December dismemberment, also dropping tomorrow as you're listening to this. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you soon.